To read a book, so I give myself time.
There was more in it, but I took chapters out. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, you could put it into a smaller book, but because I wanted the text to be nice and visual and small paragraphs, there's nothing. If you're not an avid reader, the last thing you want are long paragraphs. And if you just look at that page, look.
Yeah.
Oh, it's small though.
Oh, no, well, it's small from there, but if you, if I had bigger text, it would have to be the size of this Benin book. So that's the problem.
What I do, I use a stopwatch.
Yeah.
I set it for half an hour and depends how much pages I read when I...
Yeah, the font is quite big. I went out of my way to work the font. The font is quite big, yeah?
Is it?
Big, and the text flows very nicely as well, so I think you'll end up reading more than you think.
I edited multiple times in the language after what you did. So it's smooth. It's really smooth.
Go to the black shop.
Brothers and sisters, every good thing comes to an end. Not an end, a pause.
Long day. Not bad.
Yeah, it's a long day.
Give
I
me
went
one
to another
weekend,
event
please.
in Brixton.
Just
So
one
system,
second.
brother, we're running up now, so if you can have an order.
All of us appreciate the contribution by Brother Howard, because he's coming from a line of writers who have written on the issue of race, Billy Fuller, Christopher Wilson, Rimbani, Amos Wilson, and the list goes on. Yes. But the information that our brother brings, after looking at all that has been done before, is extremely valuable. And this handbook needs to be in our hands, to our brain, and for rethink in terms of the action that we need to take as people to get us out of this situation to find ourselves in. So, appreciation for the effort to come here this evening. Our environment is not in the best of shape. We're working to make it better. And we can only do that in a collective effort. We can all go back and complain. Look how the place time. Blah, blah, blah. We don't achieve anything like that. By understanding where we are and what we need to do to get to where we are. That's a challenge that faces all of us. So, this expo run until the end of March. This book you see here is an incredible book. Our brother sitting in front of us, I've looked through it, and the price is normally £175. And we have a special offer at £95.
I got one. I got a book. Beautiful.
And
One of my friends' families in here as well.
if any one of you who spend more than £50 and over, you get a free raffle entry, and you'll be drawn on the last Sunday in this March. Should have been drawn in February, but the take-up has been so weak, we have to extend it. But whatever the situation is, on the last Sunday in March, this will be up. So the expo is Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is 12 until 7, Sunday is 12 until 6.
That's here?
Yes.
Okay.
So we ask them, brothers and sisters, to spread the word, tell someone. And now, we have enough of these. 1995, Brother Howard is willing
So personalise it for you.
Yeah, more than happy to do that for you.
So again, all of us express appreciation for the hard work and the beauty about Brother Howard is not that he's done thorough research and come up with some serious analysis, but he's a teacher by profession.
So he structured it how he's put it together.
yes.
May I just add to that? It's an interesting read. I've bought my one here, and it's less than the price of a meal, and with what's in there, you're more than being fed.
You mentioned something about our website.
Yes, my website is www.theracism handbook, and also
Keep this one for me till I come back. Yeah?
right. I'll give that again. Right, www.theracismhandbook.com, and also www.youtube/Black Cannon Press. All right, that's the publisher. That's my little publishing house. Black Cannon Press there. Where's the logo that someone designed for me? There's the logo. All right, so that's on YouTube, and I've got some videos up there as well.
The Black Can, that's your.
That's the publishing of these books.
Would you get that YouTube link from the website?
If you just go to YouTube and punch in Black Cannon Press, you'll see my channel there, right? And it's called Black Cannon Press, and I've got interviews and talks on this book. I break the book down into chunks. There's little interviews here and there, and things that people have asked and so on. It's on the website.
Is the Black Cannon Press publishing also other authors?
We are absolutely. That's a possibility in the future, without a doubt. At the moment, it's a situation where I'm just publishing my own books. But of course, I want to develop. Why not? Absolutely.
I sort of thought when you mentioned Black Canon that was sort of a range of authors and thinkers that a lot of people should really be
For the future.
That it's a term that. Thank you. Right, I use the term Black Canon to say the canon of knowledge.
Yeah.
You see, I didn't wake up in the morning and all the knowledge was in my head. And I studied the Black Canon. So I thought that's a good term, the Black Canon. Our epistemology, you see? So that's the term to get me through the chapters that I had to research. I did about 35 years of just studying race and racism. But when I started this book, I thought, well, I'm going to have to really study other things. You see, I'm going to have to study Christianity more and African spiritualities. I had to do other things because Black Studies has multiple disciplines. But my immediate focus is race and racism.
That's sort of like the cold, because obviously us in the West are sort of like the cold face in some respects. So it's just dealing with the racism in sort of societies like these. Is that sort of is this sort of the handbook for that sort of interface?
Absolutely. This book, it will deal with how to deal with racism. That's what it's about. Yeah, because it's going to take you through race, what race is, what racism is, and through the understanding, you'll know how to deal with it. It will give you key ideas as well. At the back of the book, there's also what I call adapted rules of racial communication.
But it's interesting you mentioned because you're a teacher and your background, because because I have conversations with people, but that's not my. I can't teach people, so so it's tricky. So it's good that someone with your background puts the information in a way that can teach people.
Is that your first book?
It is my first book. There are, as I said, there's volume 2 is there and volume 3 is there, but it's a question of when to bring it out. There is a book of poems as well, post-colonial poems, and there is a book on whiteness. I did study. When you study whiteness, you're studying colonialism with white people at the centre. So it's not a study on what food and culture that white people have, but it's a study of white privilege and how that impacts on the lives of Black people. So I got a book on whiteness as well. But it's just a question of when to bring these out. But essentially, this is a black studies guide. So if you studied this book and then you wanted to go to university, you'd be ahead of the game, all right? Because that's what it is. And we're going to have another volume as well, all right?
You have hard copies here to buy?
Of course, yeah. He's got that whole. He's got the lot. I haven't got any money because of Elder Pepukayi.
Okay, finally, wanna give. We have the author and the editor together. I have to give them a lot of respect for the contribution he's made.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some of you that didn't hear, who didn't come at the top at the start, when you write a book, if you go into a white publisher, they'll give you an editor. Crucial aspect of writing a book, you need an editor. If you didn't do it without an editor, I take my hat off to you, but I couldn't do it without it. Even if someone just looks through it and just take you through it and just say, look, I think you should do, have you considered this, have you considered that, why are you saying this, why are you not saying that, and this is what Olatunji did. And he's a busy man as well, and I'm very grateful, because what the changes that he made was crucial, absolutely crucial, because you can't see everything, you get so involved, you just can't see it. That's got to go there. Well, maybe, but why don't you think about that, or why don't you think about that?
What's the difference between an editor and a proofreader?
A proofreader is largely the grammar.
Oh.
I had someone to check the grammar, but that's ongoing, you know, to check the grammar and the spelling. You get someone to do that separate. A developmental editor will say, why are you having that chapter? Don't you think you should put that source in, and things like that, you see? Perhaps that chapter should be split into two, that sort of stuff, which, you know, you just can't, an academic book like that. And look, I was trying to be academic and simplified. That's moderation, all right? I'm telling you, to be academic and simple at the same time, it's very hard to do. I knew I could do it, because I'm a teacher, I know how to do it, but it just meant you have to really think about how to do it. You see? Font size, paragraphing, what to say, and so on. And my final point, at the back of the book, you have what is called the adaptive rules of racial communication. From day to day, how we deal with the other person in society. How to speak about things that happen in our life. How to deal with racism. It's all at the back of the book. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Don't forget, if you spend £50 and over, you have a free entry.
What about dealing with people who suffer from internal racism?
It's all in there.
That's tricky.
It's all in there. All in there.
How you doing?
Thank you so much.